Okay, so I've just made up an example here. I'm using the same variables as in the homework assignment, but the equation is different. So with function notation, you have some letter, and that is the name of the function. And then in parentheses is your input variable. So that is your input. And that's what you're going to be plugging numbers into. So you'd be also plugging into the t on the right. We're saying, okay, t is where we're going to replace numbers with. And so wherever it is on the left, it's also going to be replaced on the right. So let's say we're asked for z of 4. So that means everywhere that I see t, I'm now going to replace it with 4. So I have -3, I have absolute values, and then instead of t squared, it's going to be 4 squared minus 4. So you're plugging it in. Everywhere you see t, you're now replacing it with a number. And when you have functions, you're not solving. You are not solving for z. We're only evaluating or finding a value, and that means following the order of operations. So once you plug in a number, you then follow the order of operations for the right side. You don't touch the left. So on the right, we have parentheses are basically what's inside absolute values, and then you have to do your exponent first. So I need to square the 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. So that's going to be 16 minus 4 inside my absolute values. Then I need to simplify inside the absolute values. So 16 minus 4 is 12. So now I'm going to have 12 inside the absolute value. This is -3 times the absolute value of 12. And the absolute value makes it positive. 12 is already positive. So this is really going to be -3 times 12. So then I just do multiplication. -3 times 12 is -36. So once you get to a single number, basically that z of 4 that you weren't touching drops down. And if it says find z of 4, you now have found z of 4. Z of 4 equals -36. So you're not dividing by that number on the left side. We're not solving for z. We're looking for what that z of 4 is equal to. Or in this other example I have here, we're looking for z of 1. So we just wanted to go until that equaled a number. And once that equals a number, that's when you're done. And so that can also be written as an ordered pair because it's telling us our input value is 4 and our output value is -36. So it's also representing an ordered pair there. So you're just plugging in a number and then following the order of operations. So earlier during this hour, I kind of talked about how functions are useful. And I did show how you can use graphing to verify your answer. So if you have Desmos, you can type in your equation. So I'm going to just move this a little bit out of the way so I can type in my z here. And you can type it exactly as it's written, and Desmos will figure it out. So I just type exactly what I see. I use a vertical bar for absolute values. So that's our equation. And then if you're curious what that looks like, it looks something like this. I had no idea what it was going to look like because I made it up. But then you can double check your answer. The nice thing is using this notation, all you have to do is say what's z of 4 and just plug that in. And then Desmos gives you the answer. It says it's -36. So you can use that to double check your work. And you can also then type in the ordered pair. And I need to zoom out here more so that it's actually on there. But if you type in the ordered pair and then that dot ends up on your graph, that's another indication that you've done it correctly because you can see the point and it's actually on that graph that we have. So your answer for something like this is just z of 4 equals -36, but you can double check it with graphing. So for the assignment, all you're doing is plugging numbers in for t, and then following the order of operations. It's just giving you another way to write equations, a way that's useful when you move on to other applications. It's very useful in college algebra. It's useful in computer science and in a lot of areas that need math. So that's basically, that's the assignment. Up here earlier in the session, I was talking about different ways that you can use the notation. You can use letters or you can use names. So like area of R, if you had area of a circle, you could name your function area. And it makes much more sense than if you had just used y equals, because you can actually have a name to it. You can have any letter you want on the input, so that's where I had f of x, f of y, f of t, so you can have any number inside there or any letter inside there. It's just telling you where you're going to be plugging numbers into. That's what's nice about the notation. So does that help clarify your question that you had sent me? Does that help you so that you see what you needed to do for the assignment? You can type or unmute yourself to answer. Does anyone have any other questions? Yeah, Erica.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I've been talking to myself. Okay, so the problem that we have for our assignment, it's got find z of -4 and find z of 3. So we're doing those both individually, or we're just picking one to do, or how we're doing them both. Okay.
Yeah. So you're going to go through the work with -4 plugged into the equation, and then you're going to go through the work with 3 plugged into the equation. So you'll have 2 different answers.
Okay. Yeah, that makes it a lot easier watching you do it, as far as just me taking off on my own and doing it, and then having to go back and rewatch videos and do my notes, and so.
Yeah, and once you know what to do, it really doesn't take too long. You just need to double check that you wrote down the equation right and that you did your math correctly. You didn't make any mistakes multiplying or something.
Yeah, okay. It seems simple.
Good.
And these aren't accounted for as a grade. These are just practice, right?
The ones that I did here, yeah, these are practice. What's on the assignment, that is going to be for your grade.
Okay. All right, well, thank you. I'm signing off so I can get started.
Right.
It's fresh in my brain.
Okay, let me know. Send me an email or a message or whatever if you have any more questions.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.